There's a common narrative around risk. Most people think risk comes from failure, from misuse, from things going wrong. But the most dangerous pressure rarely comes from things breaking. It comes from things working. Success changes the environment around a product, a service, or a system. Quietly at first. People start relying on it, they build habits around it, and they assume it will be there tomorrow. And that's when expectations begin to form. This is where many builders get caught off guard because they plan for intention, they plan for version 1, they planned for how they wanted something to be used. They didn't, however, plan for what success would force them to own. The biggest blind spots don't come from failure. They come from things working well enough that people expect more from them. When something succeeds, demand doesn't just increase, it changes shape. People don't ask politely anymore. They don't frame it as a request or as an option. They assume capability, and assumptions are where accountability enters. This is where focusing only on misuse or ethics misses half the picture. The real pressure often comes from positive expansion, from high-value use cases, from legitimate demand, from people saying this works, but why wouldn't this also do this? Those questions feel flattering, they feel like validation, but they also quietly ask something else. Are you willing to own the outcome if this becomes normal? Because once people rely on something, they don't separate intent from impact. They don't care what you meant to support. They care about what they experienced. This is the scramble phase. It doesn't start with crisis. It starts with success outpacing preparation. Builders often assume they'll have time to decide later. But success doesn't wait. It creates pressure immediately on positioning, boundaries, responsibility, and trust. And if those decisions aren't made intentionally, they get made for you reactively. That's when teams feel overwhelmed. That's when customers get confused. And that's when competitors step in and specialize. Not because they're better, but because they're clearer. This isn't about pessimism. It's about realism. Success introduces responsibility, whether you want it or not. If you don't decide what you won't own, the market will decide for you. And they'll do it faster than most builders expect. This has been another episode of the Strategic Coaching Moment. If you found this helpful, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.